Welcome back to Redirecting. I am going to be sharing a video clip with you all. Some of you may have already seen the clip before. It is an excerpt from Whited Out Part 5, The Curse of Generational Curses. In this clip, I did a scene of Harriet Tubman. I spoke about it in my last video, but I didn't get a chance to share that particular clip. I shared another one in my last video, so I wanted to share that with those of you who have been requesting that I do more of Harriet Tubman. At some point I may actually get back in my rocking chair again and speak some more knowledge to those of you who are requesting that I do that. I appreciate all of the feedback. After I roll this clip, I hope that you all, first of all, get something from what's being said. Harriet is basically speaking to our people in this time and just saying, get your act together, okay? Get yourself together, okay? They went through a lot back then. And a lot of our people today, especially our young people, don't seem to appreciate what our ancestors had to go through. So Harriet is kind of speaking from beyond the grave. And of course, I am the voice, and basically saying that we all, as a people, have gone through many struggles, and we cannot afford to pull the wool over our own eyes, and not even to allow others to do so. So she's speaking from beyond the grave, saying, get it together, people. But anyway, after you see the video clip, I will be right back to address an email that I got from a sister who actually went to go and see the film, and she shared some very good information with me, okay? So I want to share that with you all as well, so that you can understand why I still stand behind the fact that we should not support this film. We shouldn't spend $1. I like what one commenter said, and then I'm going to go ahead and roll the video clip. But one commenter said that they will watch it, but they're going to wait till it's free at the library so that they don't have to spend 1 cent. They're not going to put any money in anybody's pocket when they see it. And so if you're going to watch it, do it from that perspective. And also, I would say, if you're going to sit your children in front of something like this, you actually point out the lies. Don't have them walking away thinking that this is how things were. Okay? But explaining to them the truth of what happened in history, so that Harriet doesn't have to speak from beyond the grave saying, look, don't rewrite my story. Tell it like it is. Okay? Anyway, here's the clip, family, and I will be right back. I freed 1,000 slaves. And I could have freed 1,000 more if they only knew they were slaves. As I've come up through the pages of history into today's time, I can see the condition of my people done got worse. Ain't no respect for elders like me no more. There was a time back in the day where all I had to do was say the word. And the younger generations, they did what they were told, or they were dealt with. If you weren't on the same page as Harriet, you were left behind. Now I see today even the elders, those who should have took my place, they just as bad as the youngins. No respect, no culture, no appreciation for for what we had to go through, what we had to endure. I see my people trying to be just like the people we were running from. Trying to fit right in. I don't think they know who these people are. And worse yet, they don't know who they are. You see, back then we knew who we were. And those who didn't accept it, they were left behind. They didn't call me Moses for nothing. I told Pharaoh it was time to let my people go. And I think they understood me loud and clear. Our youngins today, even our old ones, it appears though they're in some type of mind warp, dwelling in a place called La La Land. They didn't know what we were up against back then, and they don't know what we up against now. When the Bible says that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against the rulers of darkness and spiritual wickedness in high places. If only my people knew what that meant. The word says, if my people, which are called by my name, would humble themselves and pray, and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, only then will I hear from heaven and forgive their sin and heal their land. But our people, they are destroyed. And they are being destroyed for the lack of knowledge. And the worst part about it is they reject knowledge. And the Most High, He said, if you reject knowledge, I will reject you and your children. And that's exactly what we see happening. Our children are being rejected because they were neglected by their moms and their dads, refusing to teach them what's right. You got our men treating our women like they ain't nothing but common trash. You wouldn't have got away with nothing like that back in my day. No, you wouldn't have. And then you got some women who are fitting right into the mold, to the very thing that they hate to be called. Molding right into the image of the enemy. See, there wasn't no pride in being master's whore in my time. Only disgust. But right now, today, you got our women proud to be master's whore. Our men wouldn't dare look at master's woman. But now our men sniffing after master's woman, coming in unto her, and completely disregarding the laws of the Most High Yah. I know y'all don't want to hear it because you're a stubborn generation. It's very clear in the Bible what we're supposed to be doing and what we ain't supposed to be doing. But y'all don't want to hear that. Now that I see more clear, I see this Christian garbage that they fed us. They took our Bible and they called it the Christian Bible when it was our Bible. Sure, they're in the story too. They got their place in the story. But see, they take our story and they make it theirs. And they give us what they want us to have. They give us the part they want us to have. And that's the part we're trying to play. We're supposed to be the part and play the part that the Most High gave us. We are the children of Israel. I was Moses in my day, and I'm Moses now. And I'm telling Pharaoh to let my people go. But my people saying, I don't want to be let go. I'm happy in my bondage. I want to be just like Massa. I want to conform to Massa's world when the Bible said, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Your mind ain't being renewed and you can't figure out why. Our neighborhoods are the worst. Now it's in the Bible. The story's been told, but you don't want to hear it. The pestilence cleaving unto us. Our young men are in the streets like wild bulls. Our women can't stand what they look like, so they're trying to look like somebody else. They're trying to look like the slave master's woman. Our men can't stand what our women look like, so they're going after slave master's woman. And while we sitting here conforming to this world is eating us alive. They're killing us. They done made it so we can't even defend ourselves. They're killing our young men, our young women, our old. And all we can do as a people is wallow in our foolishness. We sit back and we establish our own righteousness. Well, Yah already told us what was righteous. He already told us what we were supposed to be doing, but we done rewrote the story. We done created our own book because we love Massa too much. And we hate our Father. Because he said, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. But we are following after the commandments of man, the traditions of man. And this is why the curse of generational curses have befallen us. This is why when we look at each other, we hate each other. We can't stand what we see. We look at everybody else and we admire what we see. Even though the Bible told us that the world was going to hate us, and they've proven it, and they've stood up to what they believe. That hate. They have perpetuated it. They have continued it. They have a perpetual hatred. And they stand by it. But we, on the other hand, we so sorry and so sick. We think the Bible actually meant that if somebody shoot one of your kids dead in the streets like a dog and call them a nigger on top of it, we actually believe that the Bible says you're supposed to love that kind of enemy. Well, let me serve notice on you. You don't know what you're talking about. That enemy that was hunting us down in the woods while we was trying to break free. You crazy as hell if you think my Father wanted me to drop to my knees and bow down and pray for the slave master while he had his dogs on my heels trying to kill me and mine. That's why I got this here gun. Because the slave master knew that if he came after Harriet, he had a fight on his hands. What's love got to do with it? We can't even love our own people, but we so busy loving people who can't stand us. They hate us so bad they made us their slaves. Separated our families. Raped our women. Killed our children. Used our babies to catch alligators. And we are so destroyed in our minds that we think we're supposed to forgive that kind of hatred. See what the Father meant when he said forgive. If you look at the precept for that, he was telling the Israelites this hatred and this inability to forgive your own kin. I want you to put that past you. Love your fellow brethren, the Israelites. He wasn't talking about our other enemies. When those Canaanites was after us and those Philistines, when Goliath was after David, when the Amalekites was after us, do you think the Most High told the children of Israel back then to drop to their knees and pray for those enemies? Do you think before David slew Goliath that he declared how much he loved him? Come on now, people. Y'all need to get a grip on your mind. The enemy is messing with you up here. You don't know what direction to go in. You hate your own people, but you love the people that persecute our people. What kind of sense are you making, people? It is high time to awake out of your sleep. The curses done took hold of you. You don't know you're slaves. I'm trying to free you. Like I said before, I freed 1,000 of you. But I can free 1,000 more. Or 1,000,000 more. Or 10 million more. If only you knew you were a slave. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that scene from the Whited Out documentary series. For those of you who have not seen that, please go and watch it. Part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are available at this time. Part 2 is no longer on the internet because it was banned all around the world. Okay. Although, I'm sorry, you can see it on our website. We were able to upload it through our server. So watchmereports.com for those who want to watch it. It is there. Whited Out Part 2. So much information that they just couldn't take it. So they banned that one in every country. But anyway, here we go. Here we go. I am going to read this email from Sister Fakriya. And she gave us some more insight on the film. She actually watched it, and I appreciate this feedback because I did have others who were saying that it wasn't fair, and I'm going to touch on this later. They were saying that it's not fair that I give a review on a film that I have not seen. And I said to myself, it's not fair that I give a review on a film that I haven't seen, but to me, it's not fair that my people are being lied to. Okay, and that they are using movies, entertainment, and propaganda to shape the minds of our young people. You have people taking their children to see this as if it's some type of historical material that they're going to learn from. If you're not sitting your children down telling them that this movie is packed with lies, then you are part of the problem. But anyway, let me read this email. It says, Shalom Makoti Deboria. I listened to your review regarding the Harriet Tubman movie. I must say I agree with you. I went on November 1st and took my dad and stepmom. It was everything you said regarding it being shown in such a way to make slavery seem not so bad to an unlearned eye and mind. This is dangerous to our people who are still in slumber because they could get a totally different view or meaning from this. I want to share what I appreciated about the film. Harriet was portrayed as a highly spiritual being, a prophetess, because Yah gave her visions. At first, the character seemed unsure. Also, you can see judgment taken out on the liars, contract breakers, and misleaders. She consulted Yah. She prayed, envisioned, sometimes seemed to pass out deep prayer. I know in my heart Yah was with the real Harriet. Although she feared, she pushed through, returned, and led others out. Our, I'm sorry, one character who was helping Massa said, when you talk to God, he talked back. That character then became a helper of Harriet's. I differ with you on this one thing. The white man, Massa, his actions and words seem to differ from the other. He seemed seducing, but his words were hateful. He equated having a favorite slave to having a favorite pig that would then have to be slaughtered or sold. He told Harriet God didn't hear the prayers of the slave and how her praying disgusted him. The character Harriet hearkened to the Ruach, or the Holy Spirit, for those of you who don't know what Ruach is. The so-called saving was because he made it clear to the black man who was governed by money he could earn, he, the master, would deal with or kill Harriet himself. But true to form, the black man thought he was Massa's friend and got beside himself with Harriet, who continued to elude them. That is why Massa shot the so-called bounty hunter black man, not because he was rescuing Harriet. I won't tell you what happened next, just in case you change your mind and choose to view it. Just know Harriet was not portrayed as a punk, for the lack of a better word. I apologize, I didn't mean to write a booklet. Shalom and respect, Fakriya. Now, I appreciated her sending this information on actually having seen the movie and appreciating our point of view, but also showing where she differed from our point of view. I wanted to make this clear too, that the points of view that I shared were not my own. I talked about how various articles and other people had spoken about the film, and I shared what they were saying about the film. Okay, so I definitely appreciate the fact that she brought some clarity to some of the points that were made in my video when I talked about what others were saying about the film. I really appreciate that. And so, as you can see, it's definitely something that, as from the sister said, anyone who is unlearned and doesn't know anything about history, they would think that slavery wasn't so bad, right? Whenever you water down such a heinous act and make it seem like it was like they're trying to do, they're trying to say that slavery was actually some type of indentured servitude, right? That the people just weren't paid that much. They came over here and worked for low wages. And they kind of X out the deep brutality, the buck breaking, all of that kind of stuff that we talk about and cover in White It Out Part 5. This is why we continue to tell you all, look at that documentary series, because it talks about the deep deception, the hatred, the bitterness and the anger and rage that is directed towards our people, and why all of it is happening. And so, again, we have to understand that when movies such as this are put out, and we go and we spend our money to support things like this, we are actually helping to further their agenda with deceiving our people. And I know some of us don't understand that, and and I do understand the points of view of seeing the film firsthand. I get that, okay, but I also like the sister who said that she'll wait till it comes out free so that she can view it for educational purposes. I understand that. I totally get that. My biggest issue is sitting our children in front of it, is us paying money to go see it, knowing that these people are going to lie to us. They're going to tell the story at a slant. Now get this. There are just thousands of films out there being made every day. Many of them are fictional. When we go in the theater, we know that they are fiction. We know that it's not real. Okay, but when you take such an important chunk of history and you destroy it, you rewrite it, you add characters, you take away characters, and you rewrite the narrative, it creates deception. It creates miseducation. Okay, this is what happened with the Bible. This is why many of us are just tired of being lied to about things such as this film that makes history to be something different than what it was. Because a lot of our people right now reject the Bible because the same people who did this film, the same racial group of people who did this film or promote this film or behind this film, The same people, even if they have black people working with them on it, because some of you are saying, well, they had a black writer who helped with it too. Okay, but who is behind putting this all together and putting it out there? The same people who decided that they were going to write all of these Bible films featuring all of these white faces and making everything in the Bible and in history appear to be white. Like we so-called black people just showed up from the pits of hell one day and we are overpopulating the earth. When we all know, if you look at Whited Out Part 1, we showed in that documentary how 2 black people can produce a child with white skin, but 2 white people cannot produce Wesley Snipes. These are the types of things that we talked about in that film. We broke it down line upon line, precept upon precept, on how things were changed in history, how they rewrote history and confused our people. And then they handed us Christianity, and we're eating it up like a buffet, and we are being confused by it. And so this is why movies like this are dangerous, because many of our people, like I said before, reject the Bible, reject our own biblical history, because they have rewrote the script. Okay, family, that is all for now. Thank you for watching. And with that, I will say shalom. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel. And also comment, share, like, and subscribe.